another episode of Get Your Paint On. As you can see, I am not Jordan Lamb.
What?
I am Tanner Thomas, casting lead here at Privateer Press, and I am here with a Dr. Stygius to paint, and I'm also joined by Lauren.
Hello.
She's our trade sales account manager. She's got a Scythe to paint over there, and we also have Danny here helping us out, and you guys know him.
Hi.
As our hobby and terrain specialist. I know him as a constant and daily threat to my sanity. So, moving right along, let's talk about some subscription news. At 120 subs, the stream schedule.
There we go.
Sorry. At 120 subs, we're going to get that Riot Quest loot token, and I cannot remind everyone enough, if you are using your free subscription through Amazon Prime, please renew every month. And when we get to that 120 subs, Tony's going to buy us all subs. Help us out. We are hungry.
Is this true?
Free lunch. Well, yeah. I mean, he keeps saying it, so I guess I'm going to have to deliver on that.
Oh, man. 120 subs.
If it ain't true, we're going to make it true.
I may have agreed to it under duress, but...
Yes.
Really
we're just adding more people. But
he's really easy to guilt trip. It'll totally work on Tony.
Moving right along, we got some mini crate news to talk about. So we got Medusonia for mini crate up until February 19th. You have your chance to claim that model. Make sure you subscribe by then. The current VIP model is still the Trancer Dancer, and that is going to be through February 19th as well, is when that rolls over. And if I'm not mistaken, are we still giving those out 2 apiece?
No, that ended at the end of the year. Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
Just
I didn't mean to get
one.
Your hopes up. But yeah, so if you're a Crucible Guard player, make sure that you get your 6-month subscription in before the end of February. We've also got Savage Mini Crate. Last time I said that Red Sonja was available until the 12th. I misspoke. She's available until July 12th for the 6-month subscribers. And if you missed your chance to get Conan on the throne, you still have your chance until February 12th to get Conan on foot with a sword. So without further ado, let's get right on into it. I got Dr. Stygius here, who I'm going to be doing in a green color scheme. Just going to do 2 basic metallics for his arms, probably in a dark silver and a brass tone, and then fill in some of the other colors like this blood pack here, maybe a couple glow effects in his eyes, and syringes there. What about you, Lauren? What's your idea?
I'm going to go with a desert theme. I see a lot of winter themes with her, people have been talking about, but I want to do something a little different. No idea what's going to be what yet. I'm just going to, go by feel. Maybe I'll just chat. Who knows?
I'm starting with a little Iosan green, but I want to darken that down a little bit to get the bottom and the underside of Stygius' coat. I'm going to add a little Ordic olive to that.
I'm going to start with Idrian flesh so I can see. Just kind of cut out the different details of the model.
And I'm going to start with my imaginary model that I totally have. And I'm going to paint it with imaginary paint so I can feel included.
I have often thought that I would like to just be over here, kick back, painting a model off screen while everyone else is painting. But then I realize I kind of have to pay attention to what's going on over here. Or do I? I don't know.
Don't you? Just
I suppose we could take a chance.
Don't you just click record?
That's really it. It's I press the go button and then I sit back and let the magic happen.
Yeah.
Danny, if you could be painting any Riot Quest model right now, which one would you be painting?
Well. Since I basically am Gubbin, I would be painting my blinged Gubbin.
Ooh.
But I'm also painting right now. I'm painting a bunch of them. I'm painting Wolf with No Name. Oh, Flugwug. Flugwug is super cool to paint. That's very up my alley.
I am really excited to paint Flugwug. A few months ago, I was given a few Croak Hunters that are painted in very different and crazy color schemes that resemble poisonous Amazon frogs and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to dive into Flugwug and see what we can do with multicolor skin blending.
Well, also, I'm 3D printing my face soon.
3D printing your face?
Watch your head. Watch your head, Lauren.
Ooh.
Not so far.
3D printing my face so that I can glue it onto models because I'm making a Danawar army.
A Danawar army.
Yes, you're welcome. And but I'm probably going to put it on what's his face, Gorman also.
Ooh, nice.
I feel like that would be cool with my face on it.
In your Danawar army, you can have Danos Danadovich, and that would be pretty amazing.
Don't encourage him.
No, we don't need more of this.
Wait, nobody at home would have even heard that comment if I had had the proper mute button.
Yeah, but you don't.
Danny's a force of nature.
The glitchy bit is wondering if I am a judge for the imaginary P3 Grandmaster painting competition. It's not imaginary. It does exist, and I probably am not, because I'm not a studio painter. I mean, I might help this year, but it's normally Jordan, Ron, and Stu.
Is this at Adepticon or?
This is at Lock and Load.
Oh, okay.
However,
Gotcha.
I will be helping judge the
just judging everyone.
everyone at all
Oh,
times.
I'm good at that.
But no, I'll be judging the Display It Painted competition at Adepticon, because we're piggybacking off of like the Armies on Parade event, and you guys can put out your cool armies and win cool prizes. The rules are online.
I wish I could win cool prizes.
Why can't you? Just go out there and live your best life. Win all the tournaments.
He can't win cool prizes because he's not good at anything.
Oh. I'm hurt.
You should be. That's why I said it out loud.
Hopefully I get some words of encouragement from chat, because I need the rebound. Danny's very abusive sometimes.
I hope you get words of encouragement, because I'm getting trolled right now over and over.
Who's
About,
trash talking you, Tony?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah, for my lack of attention.
Wait,
and
Doug's
how
coming
much
in tomorrow
enjoyment
morning?
people get when I'm not paying attention.
Did you say Doug's coming in
All
tomorrow
I
morning?
just saw is Doug Hamilton's coming into the office tomorrow morning.
It's true.
Ooh,
Guys, Doug's coming.
we're going to get in trouble.
It's true.
Yeah,
That's also true.
That's for me, man. That dude is bad news for me.
I am a really big fan of this color. Once again, that was mostly
What are
Iosin
you
green
using?
with just a little Ordic olive mixed in.
I'm really curious to see where you go for this, because this is a great color, but that nice bright green is not what my first thought would be to paint his robe.
Your army,
So
your
I'm
way,
really-
Tony.
Hey.
No,
Hashtag.
no. There's no judgment. I'm simply stating that in my mental palette, it is not the color that I would think to jump to first when painting that his overcoat. So I really want to see what you do with it.
That is a pretty color.
I believe on the card art it's purple, like to match with specialists.
I like that you dulled it down with a little bit of Ordic also.
Yeah, this is going to allow me to mix like a dark brown in to kind of do some of the parts of the bottom and the recesses to do shadowing, and then add some brightness to it with like a worm green and maybe a little bit of yellow ink to do some of the higher parts.
Try and center up just a little bit, Tanner. There you go.
And I'm going to need to let that dry for a little bit, so I'm going to start with my good old tried and true boiler black. I use this as a base coat for almost any dark iron type
For
color.
metals, yeah.
Like Frank's Red Hot.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Menoff White Highlight is the Frank's Red Hot sauce of our paint. Menoff White Highlight is incredible.
It goes with everything.
It's good for off-white fabric. It's good for highlighting bone. It's good for highlighting gray stonework. It just has such a multitude
So
of uses.
versatile.
For me right now, it's Muddy Wash.
I'm so
doing
glad
this
we make
test.
that now.
Dude, I'm doing this test right now where I'm like, can I put Muddy Wash on literally anything and make it look better? And I haven't found.
You haven't-
it has- I have not
nothing
failed
hasn't worked yet?
Yeah, it's like turkey gravy. You could dip anything in turkey gravy and it will taste better. I've tried with like grapes. I've tried dipping anything in turkey gravy and it tastes better.
So for some of the newer painters out there, and this is actually kind of how I got my start, unless you're doing like a yellow or white, which if you're an amateur painter is probably something you should shy away from in the beginning.
Amateur.
But you can put a brown wash over most entire models and it will look good.
Center up, Tanner.
Especially if you're not trying to achieve anything too stellar, any kind of complex techniques. You could very easily get away with painting your whole model, giving it a little of that muddy wash, and getting a good result.
Well, that's the thing. It depends on the brown, right? Like, not all browns are created equal in brown land. The Muddy Wash.
Brown Town.
Muddy Wash is absolutely amazing. I can't jump off of that.
no.
Lauren. You put me in a you softball
No.
that one up.
Move on.
Tony,
We
press
gotta
that
break-
mute. Press that mute.
We gotta. Sometimes you have to know when to derail Danny's mental train.
Well, I lost my complete train of thought. Good
Yeah,
work,
see,
everyone.
good. Let's- all right.
work. We're gonna just stop.
Mission
I will say that one thing that to keep in mind if you haven't done like a lot of washes or using the browns to bring out contrast and do washes with is pay attention to the value of the brown in addition to the colors. So that's going to be probably one of the bigger factors actually is whether or not if you're painting on something light, you can get away with using a lighter brown, but that brown still needs to be darker typically than the color that you're painting over it. So a difference of value so that it can sink down and pop it out. And obviously the darker the color and the lighter the color you're painting over, the bigger the contrast is going to be.
So, Tony, not to call attention to a little hiccup or anything, but did we completely blow by the stream schedule? Do we want to go over that real quick? Or are you not worried about it?
Well, let's hit it. There might be some people watching who are not aware of our stream schedule, so let's take a quick detour
Sorry about that, everybody.
to the schedule. Yoink.
So let's-
Nope, that's not it. There we go.
see, this is the exact same thing that just happened.
That was just in reverse.
All right, so if you guys were with us yesterday, you probably already know that every Wednesday we have Dev Hangout, and that's usually with a conglomeration of Hungerford, Oz, and Faye talking about new cards, new rules, new games, and the like. That's every Wednesday at 10. Every Thursday at 10, you can join us here for Get Your Paint On. I'm sure Jordan will be back in the hot seat next week, and his guest changes week to week.
Me.
Our next staff showdown
Me.
is on Tuesday, January 8th. Tony, is there a plan set in place for that? Or is it
Yeah,
a surprise?
that's going to be the Monpot game that we kind of delayed during our snow week.
Our snow delay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have Monpot coming up on the 28th. Is there any fancy new units that are going to be in play that you want to talk about?
I believe the plan is it's going to be Incinerus versus Zizarax and a couple other monsters. And then we're also going to be seeing the Mr. Tank, the Exosuits, and the Crabs and Eels.
That name again is Mr. Tank. And
Mr.
then our
Tank.
next hobby hangout is tomorrow, and Danny and I will be right back here in the booth at 10 a.m.
Can I tell him what we're doing?
Yeah.
We're making rubble. Because if you guys have seen at our conventions and stuff and tournaments, we've got these sweet, sweet craters and rocky rubble resin markers, and I'm showing you guys how to do battle damage and make it like mesh into that rubble kind of base. And we're gonna put those up on the store, and you guys can get all sorts of cool bits, grab bags, and craters and stuff.
That'll be fun.
Sounds rad.
It'll be
So
messy.
come back tomorrow.
I do a lot of rubble on like my basing and stuff like that, so hopefully we have a lot to talk about there. Different methods and different types of rubble that we could potentially achieve and talk about. Like
Yeah.
from different materials, brick rubble's a little different than concrete rubble, so on and so forth.
Right, and since your painting looks like trash anyway, it'll blend really nicely into all the rubble that you put on the base.
Danny's
I'm on
all
fire.
positive all the time. We got Scotty for the win. How many parts is Dr. Stygius? How was the assembly? Does it need pinning? Stygius is 1, 2, 3. He's 4 parts, right? 2.
He is a body. He is 2 sets of claw arms and 1 set of arms.
Yeah.
So that's 4.
He was very easy to clean. Went together real well, like not a fussy fit at all. Those arms are clearly keyed and fit right onto his helmet, and they just lock in there nice and tight. Like it really was a very, very easy miniature to assemble, and no pinning required.
I found the same results as well.
Scythe is 3 parts. Her body she kind of has a lower leg half that comes together to form the whole body, and then the bow just joins at the wrist.
I think I'm going to put a magnet in the bottom of mine so that I can put them on a 40 mil base for Riot Quest just to give them a little better balance. Be able to switch between the two, and of course be able to use them in War Machine as well.
Or you could put magnets in everything and use those sweet hex bases that I made you cast.
Those are pretty sweet hex bases. Not
Hex
gonna lie.
bases? We have hex bases?
Yeah, they're
I
50
made some.
millimeter hex bases that were made for that, like the Death Trap
The
token
Death
that
Trap,
you did.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
we made a few resin cast.
But,
How have I not
we
seen
molded
this
them,
yet?
We molded them before I finished the death trap so that we can play with them in the studio for fun.
We also
One of
got
the perks, right?
Playing for fun?
No,
Oh.
working with a bunch of mold makers. If I make something cool, I'll be like, hey, you want to toss this in a mold?
No problem.
Lauren, there are a couple questions for you.
Oh,
The
okay.
first one is it somebody does not know who you are and they wanted to know what you do here at Privateer Press.
Oh, well, I deal with all the retail support. So if your store needs something, they contact me at tradesales@privateerpress.com, and I get them prize support. I get them models. If you guys are having trouble getting models, I make sure everyone is happy on the store side.
So just to restate that, if our viewers want certain privateer press models they can't currently get at their store should contact you directly.
Yes, yes, please. And that's tradesales@privateerpress.com is the best way to get a hold of me. If you do not already get a hold of me already, I suppose. So yeah, nice to meet all of you. I have not been on stream a whole lot yet.
Well, we're happy to have you here.
Oh, well, thank you.
And then Steve Gibson would like to know what color you've been using for Scythe's skin.
Scythe's skin, that is Idrine flesh. Yeah, I'm going to bring that up brighter. I'm just cutting out different spaces and what color I want them to be eventually. But,
So are you going with a like a human type skin tone?
yeah.
Nothing, I believe her card art has her with like a dark elf type blue style skin tone or something to that effect. Is she what is she, like a blightedness or something like that?
I don't think she's blighted. She doesn't have like that.
Or regularness?
She doesn't
Just
have
a
like that
ness?
chin spikes that the blightedness have. I think she's just like normalness.
Guys, Quasitor 8086 says, and I quote, Lauren is awesome and a rock star. Our FLGS is happy with how responsive PP is. Good work, Lauren.
Nice
Oh,
job,
man.
Lauren.
Yeah.
Man, awesome.
That
Thank
sounded
you very
like
much.
sarcasm, but it's not. Lauren's
Or-
super,
or a-
super
We
fantastic.
got it. We have to remember the source.
Or a paid advertisement. I wasn't sure. Well, I'm glad I can help you guys out. I will also ask chat, what color should these feathers be? Because I have no idea. What do you guys think?
Purple.
Wait, what color? What color? Bring that over here.
Her wings?
Let's see what you got.
Like, she's got like feather cloak.
Yeah, no, I
going
know. Dude, I've seen the model.
I do really like when people...
Purple.
Purple?
I agree
yeah.
I am a big fan of purple.
I like when people take a section of their model and they paint like part of the physical model color coordinated to the class, because I've seen people do that with the base rims, but I love it when, and I've seen people theme the whole model after it. But it's really cool when they just kind of paint the model their own way for Riot Quest, and then they do like maybe a hat or maybe a shoulder armor that's just in the color of their class. I think is really cool. I really like some of the ones I've seen of that. So I'm going to darken my green a little bit.
Sorry. The chat is absolutely fantastic right now.
I'm going to put a drop of armor wash in the green that I mixed up for Stygius earlier, and I'm going to find probably a mid-brown of some kind. I got, let's see, blood tracker brown. That should be all right. Just add a tiny bit of that.
It's really bad when chat is starting to pick up on like my ADD and like when I've just completely lost interest in everything I'm saying and calls me out for fizzling out like halfway through a sentence. You know that's a problem.
It takes all types, Danny.
It's so bad.
All right, so I've taken my Ios and green Ordic olive mix, added a tiny bit of armor wash, and a little bit of blood tracker brown, and I'm going to use this kind of on the underside of his cloak and some of the lower parts to blend the color into a little darker.
Yo, have any of you guys played with Eldritch? The color?
Eldritch the color?
Yes.
I have it sitting there,
The dark
and
arts,
I always
of
want
course.
to do something with it, but I just don't know where to apply it.
Dude, that color is so powerful. It's so cool. I use it. You got to mix stuff into it though. Try getting some Eldritch out and mixing your base color in there to create a highlight. Sorry, I'm really bad at using. This is a different mic that I'm used to. Sorry, guys. Try mixing that into your base color to create a highlight. But also, it's a really interesting color to put into your shades because it's going to kind of mute your shade color, but it will also add a lot of. I like that I'm about to contradict myself. It'll mute your shade color, but add a lot of saturation at the same time.
Are there specific colors that you think it would be good for like colored washes or colored shades? Or just
I wouldn't
literally
wash
anything?
it. I'd use it. Yeah, I go in and I two-brush blend it out. But yeah, I'll mix up like, I'll put like, honestly, like a Battlefield brown or something in there real quick and just kind of bring it out.
With Eldritch, huh?
Yeah, man.
That is fascinating.
Yeah, Eldritch is sweet. Jordan uses
Yeah,
it a lot. For different stuff.
Jordan is in our chat right now, so
Oh, hi, Jordan.
Jordan,
Tanner, he can see you in his seat.
Jordan,
Jordan,
are you
oh.
so proud of me right now?
Jordan, Eldritch, right? Shade, Eldritch. Thoughts?
Feelings.
That will be the real test, won't it? So I'm going on the inside of Stygius's piping and also where his fabric folds up And also he's got kind of an undercoat here, and that's where I'm using this darker, with the brown mix in it, this darker green. That's a little something that I learned from Jordan when doing Leadfoot and Treads when we were blending that red color.
Come up into the frame just a little more, please, Tanner. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Center up. Actually, one thing too is if you reach up on your camera, right above your head, there should be a little lever on there that you can zoom in and out with. And you might be able to get a
lever
closer on top.
Uh-oh. I'm going to mess this up.
Ah,
It's
don't
on.
worry. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I'm going to mess this up.
It's fine.
Hey, do I have a cool PPS Danny name if I post?
I think you have to do it yourself.
You have to do it yourself. You're by default PPS Danny
Whoa,
because you qualify for the PPS part.
that's cool.
I think mine's set up on Discord, but not on Twitch.
Jordan can hear us now. Jordan, we were talking about Eldritch and how it's a great color, and you can use it in shades and highlights. But shades, what do you think, Jordan? What colors do you like to mix into Eldritch?
And for what purposes?
And now we wait.
Yeah, somebody cue the Jeopardy theme.
Do, 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 do. That's not the Jeopardy theme.
We're making him. We're
assume we
making
can't
him
afford
work
it, so.
while he's on the plane to LVO. I guess like that. Also, if you guys are bringing your Riot Quest crews to LVO, I'm sure that Jeff, Jordan, Hungerford, and John will all be looking for games.
I think that was the case. They were all painting up stuff to make sure they had it to take with them.
Yep.
They were
So if
pretty
you missed
excited.
your chance to play with us at Warfare Weekend, don't miss it at LVO.
And I believe that that because of that, you might actually get a chance to play against models that have not been seen on the table publicly.
And maybe even gear cards that nobody's even heard of yet. New
gear.
Not even them.
That's not a
They don't
problem.
even know it's in their decks.
Yeah, they just put random stuff in Hungerford's gear pile. He doesn't even make them. Riot Quest just invents itself.
The primordial ooze that we keep under the building.
He says he's got a question for Handley, who's not even here.
Yeah, Hanley's in the chat, unless he left.
He is?
He's there.
Whatever.
They're out, we're totally getting unofficially rated by the LVO crew right now.
Moldy ochre is absolutely fantastic, Jordan. You're right. My other favorite color, one of my other favorite colors. It's perfect for highlights. Whenever Jordan and I are like trying to pick colors, we always end up, always at the end, we're just like, yo, but put some moldy ochre into that highlight. Just do it.
I am going to hit his big leather gloves with a Blood Tracker brown. I'm going to follow that up with a rucksack tan and a muddy wash.
I realize I have not been calling out my colors very much. I apologize, chat.
That's all right. Can you give people a rundown of what you've been doing now?
Sure. I have Bad Bruise. Yeah, Bad Bruise on my purple feathers, all the fletching and stuff. I got, I don't even know, Battlefield Brown on all my leathers. I got Hammerfall Khaki on my clothes here. The predecessor to Boiler Black, Pig Iron on the bow. Just to tease Tanner, I managed to find some Orgoth Bronze to put
We're fighting.
on the some of the metal armor bits.
I was giving Tony a hard time for not having some of our newer paints over here available in the studio. And Orgoth Bronze was the one that I wanted.
I provide what I provide, and you should just accept it as a challenge.
And I complained thoroughly
Yeah.
about it.
Is that also what you tell your children?
Ooh!
If you were,
Yeah,
you
just
get what
like-
you get.
Yeah. You are fed right now.
That
Would
happened
you
this
like to
morning.
not eat?
So on that McDonald's meme, you're the parent that goes, "No, we have food at home," when they ask for McDonald's.
Yeah. No, I do that constantly.
I think
Girl Scout cookies.
Tony
Girl Scout cookies.
Tony
Yes.
wanted to open up his
Girl
Girl Scout cookie sales to the entire fan base and ship them out all over the U.S. I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying before stream.
I am definitely the office hookup for
And,
Girl Scout cookies.
He said he was going to eat the shipping costs too. So fans, come order some Girl Scout cookies.
Free cookies for free subs. Let's go.
I'm a big fan of what are the peanut butter chocolate ones? Tagalongs.
Tagalongs.
Yeah.
What? You're weird.
Why? Because I like peanut butter and chocolate.
Thin mints for days, dude.
All right.
Thin Mints
I'm
won't kill
sorry,
me,
everybody,
so-
but mint and chocolate is the devil's combination. I trust everyone a little bit less when they tell me that they like it. That's like pineapple on pizza to me.
I don't even know what to say to you because both of those things are amazing.
Danny,
Well, now I'm on Tanner's side. I'm sorry.
hooray.
Pineapple on pizza?
I have a
Dude,
side.
Pineapple? You have the wrong side. Pineapple, some Italian sausage, maybe a little bacon, some hot sauce.
Okay, the people who do
Maybe it's because I grew up on the other
pineapple and
coast.
jalapeno
Danny,
is awful.
Yes,
You've-
Tony?
It's unacceptable.
you've just described 3 of my favorite ingredients.
Italian sausage.
You've decided to put them on all on the same pizza, like I have never done, and I'm intrigued
It's excellent.
because that sounds delicious.
Yes, it is.
And people who like pineapple on their pizza, the rare superior
race.
folks.
You can
Yeah.
use the word race.
No, that's not okay.
Never
Nope,
mind. I
don't
can't-
like that
you
one.
can't
Nope,
use that.
nope. Dial it back. Well,
Tony's like, fear the
We'll
train,
go.
fear the train.
Superior taste. How's that?
Yes, classy, classy.
Tony, Danny is super single, by the way.
What? No, I'm not. Don't
I'm
say
just
that.
saying, you guys could make pizzas together.
Rabid
And it
monkeys
would be
on board with
beautiful.
pineapple.
I would be single for Tony, though.
That's right. Tony's a beautiful man.
Things are getting weird.
Just another day here at Privateer Press.
Yep. We could just be all boring on the stream and be like, we are painting this model, this color, and that is
Alec
all.
Luda, you and I are going to fight about pizza because deep dish pizza is not pizza.
It's
Whoa.
casserole.
It's casserole. And it is amazing in its own right, but it needs to be a separate category. It's not Pizza Homes. I'm sorry.
I did
Like,
not have a chance to get any deep dish pizza when I went to Pittsburgh, and I'm sad about it.
You doing Adepticon with us?
That's the idea, question mark.
Because that's in Chicago.
I would love to do that.
They have deep dish pizza.
I'm really liking the way some of these colors are coming out. I think I'm ready to do some of the lighter parts of the green. So I'm going to go back to Iosin green.
Did you really clean your garage last week to make room for cookie boxes, Tony?
Oh yeah, that 100% happened. Sorry. So apparently Pat in Facebook,
Using your Eldritch.
his wife is a cookie mom, and the cookie mom. This is like a weird topic for this show, but the Girl Scouts, you have someone in charge of doing all the cookie sales.
Welcome to streaming with me.
Are you the cookie mom, Tony?
My wife is the cookie mom.
No,
I
Tony's
am-
the cookie mom.
and thereby I am the cookie laborer. And so so last week I had to kind of do some cleaning on the garage to make room for all the boxes that will be arriving next week, or in a couple weeks, something like that.
Jordan says that his roommates want to hang out with me. So
And
I went to his
Jordan's-
house one time. Apparently, I'm that popular.
I never hang out with Jordan, so he would never say that to me. Also, Alec Luda says, fight me, and that is absolutely not a thing I would ever do.
Because Alec Luda's a super fan, and we love him.
Also, he's deep in military. I would die. I know how to pick my battles.
So I've got Iosin green here for my highlight color, and I'm adding a little bit of worm green to taste, basically, until I like the color.
And you're mostly like that worm green will yellow it up a little bit, but are you going for the color change or mostly the value change?
Honestly, Tony, that's a whole lot of art words that I don't really understand. I know how to put paint on miniatures and make it look halfway decent. But you guys know a thing or two about theory that I don't know. So why don't you,
It works from all directions.
if you explain those concepts to me, I might be able to give you a better answer.
Well,
I'm also
so-
going to add a drop of yellow ink to this.
So worm green, I believe, is a little bit brighter. Can you hold them up? Do you have them handy?
Yes, I can. Give me 1 second and get done with this ink.
My hands are shaky.
All right. So Iosin green and worm green. Oh, there's paint all over this bad boy. Ching. Bam.
Oh yeah. So on these, like you're gonna get a nice. The worm green's a little brighter, so you're gonna get some contrast of it. It's gonna make a nice little highlight, and it's also got a bit more yellow in it, so that's gonna give you an interesting color shift rather than staying right in line with that Iosin green. Just make it a little more interesting, a little more pop.
So when you say, am I changing the color or
don't
the
say
value,
make it pop.
Tony?
Mm-hmm.
What
Don't
am I
say make
changing?
it pop.
I can't say make it pop.
No.
Why?
That's an art sin.
Color is like color is like how warm, how cool, like, or that's temperature. Like color is like, is it blue or green, and value is how light and how
How
So I'm
light or
changing
dark.
the value of my green.
That primarily, that's what adding that worm green is going to do, is change your value. Because if you had no color in it, you would still be seeing the change on the clothing. Because that's one of the things that can be a little tricky, is if you're paying too much attention to the color and you're not paying attention to the brightness or darkness of your paint, and you're mixing paints, or you're trying to highlight with a different color, you could just be trying to highlight with something that's too close in value. They're just the same level of brightness, and that's why if you do it that way, your miniature can kind of come out looking a little dull. Because it doesn't have that, I'm going to say it again, Lauren, it doesn't have that pop, which brings it back out. We got to talk about this later. I don't know why you don't like the word pop.
See, guys, just because I'm here to teach doesn't mean that I can't learn while I'm at it.
Well, and something that's useful to do, and I do this with Jordan a lot, is like if he's stared at something too long and he's asking me to crit one of his models, I'll take a photo in black and white on my phone and look at the model completely in black and white to see what his like value structure looks like, because you're gonna want the point of highest contrast, right? If I'm gonna get like real like Professor Danny art term stuff on you,
Professor Danny art term.
Yeah, the point of highest contrast, right? So the lightest shape against the darkest shape is going to be where your eye focuses. Right, so that's really important in miniature painting, is to pick your focal point and push that contrast and that hierarchy, so to speak, into your model. Right, so taking a photo of your model in black and white is a really, really easy way to see if that's working correctly. Is our point of highest contrast through our light and dark shapes
Did you just get derailed by chat?
Yeah, I got really excited.
Danny saw his name in chat and then just...
He's like, I have fans.
No, they were talking about what my name actually is.
The people, they love me.
That's not true at all. Hashtag cancel Danny. But yeah, no, look for your point of highest contrast and see if that's actually where you want it, because that's where your eye is going to go immediately. It's like, it tricks the brain, right? Take photos of it in black and white. It'll really be eye-opening.
So I'm taking this Iosin green, worm green, with a little bit of yellow ink mixed in, and I'm going around the trim of Stygius' coat and also just highlighting the high spots, the opposite of what I did with that darker mix down in the shadows.
Jordan's screaming at me on chat now, and I don't know why yet.
Did we ever get an answer on what he likes to do with that
Eldritch? No, he just says he likes it, and that moldy ochre is his highlight everything color.
Moldy
Keeping
ochre.
It close to the vest.
I thought it was, mediocre? Moldy ochre?
Moldy ochre. We use moldy ochre to highlight almost everything.
Do we have a moldy ochre and a mediocre?
We do.
Oh, okay. Which one's moldy ochre?
It's the older.
Moldy ochre is the...
It's a bit more yellowy.
More orange. Is it the...
Yeah.
It's the orangey one,
that one.
right? Oh, no. It is the yellow one.
Moldy ochre? Really?
Yeah, we mix that into like all of our highlights because it adds color to the highlights. Something that a lot of painters,
What you looking for?
a lot of painters
I was just
tend to
comparing it with
do
mediocre.
is
It's in pip order.
they don't have enough color in their highlights, and so all of their stuff gets very chalky.
You can
right?
tell
If
I
they're
work in
mixing too,
sales
like,
because I
too much
organize my things by pip number.
Menoth white highlight or like just white into their highlights, everything gets like desaturated and bland. So putting a tiny touch of Jordan and I haven't even really found a situation where putting moldy ochre, a touch of moldy ochre into your highlight color wouldn't work. It's not like we use it on everything because there might be a better color, but there's never been a time where I'm like, nah, this wouldn't work. You know?
I am super happy with this green and some of the change of colors, so I'm going to move on to highlighting his gloves with some rucksack tan.
Snow Tiefling wants to know if
Can I
there's
have my
a...
rucksack sandbag by
Your rucksack tan?
Yeah.
This is not your rucksack tan. This is my
I
rucksack
gave
tan.
you something. I gave you moldy ochre. That's what I.
Oh, yeah, you need that back?
Yeah,
I have one over here. There you go, Lauren.
Thank you.
That's her everything highlight. You can't have her everything highlight, man.
I can have everything, including her everything highlight. I'm in the captain's chair, and I'm gone mad with power.
It's true. It's not the first time I've seen this.
When Jordan comes back, he's going to have to dethrone me through like a sword battle or something.
He would
Ooh,
die.
There can only be one.
So quickly.
Thank you, Danny.
bringing back the cage match. We like to pick and bet on if anybody could beat Tanner in a cage match in the entire studio. And
My name is gaining some steam, and I'm super happy about it.
Yup.
I know I can't win, but I would. I'd bet on myself just like hang out for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, you'd last. I would die first. Actually, it depends if I can use tools or not. You know, I feel like it would come down to you and Cruzy in the end.
My boss.
I really do.
My
Doug
boss,
Hamilton would last a long time too.
and I'm calling him out right now. Eric says that I would not stand a chance against him, but he refuses to let me try. I'm calling you out, Eric.
Also, that's your boss.
That's right.
That's your boss, and that's the best part of it.
It's
is his
friendly
boss was
competition.
like, I would kill you, and Tanner's like, let's
Nah, dude.
fight.
Yeah. I just
That's
want to
the
be
best-
given the chance.
that is the
I
best-
give him the credit. I think he could beat me, and I think I could beat him. But he just denies me the credit completely, and I am so salty about it, if you can't tell by the inflection in my voice.
That is the best boss-employee relationship ever. Like,
Well,
openly
see-
talk about fighting each other, yet Tanner still keeps getting
I
promoted.
wouldn't be a very good assistant to him if I just agreed
Well, he
with
knows he would
everything
get fought
said.
if he didn't get promoted. Trial by combat.
I feel like I
Promotion
could
by
turn
combat.
a folding chair into a lot of different weapons. That's what we're talking about in chat right now. I could kit bash a weapon from spare parts found around the
Just
ring.
like flatten the legs and sharpen them into swords and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. So one of the guys I previously worked with at the film company was on that show on Discovery Channel, The Colony.
The Colony?
You
What
ever
is that?
see that? It's like they put you in like a post-apocalyptic community, and you're away from society, and you basically have to survive and create like an entire colony, so to speak. But he's this like old-time model maker for films, and he was just like figuring out how to make like forges out of like and taking like fence posts and making like fishing spears,
Like
and
scrap
stuff.
forges?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, and he made a what's it called? Crossbow that shot bike spokes.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and they couldn't put it on the TV because he created such a simple solution that
To making an actual weapon?
that they were like everyone could figure out how to do this, so they couldn't put it on the TV.
It's like an anarchist cookbook guide or something.
Danarchist cookbook.
The Danarchist cookbook.
No.
Yes! Embrace it, Tony. Embrace it.
Lean into it. You'll be happier. You know, Jeff and I are fighting right now because he's editing an insider I'm doing in a way I don't want him to. I wrote an insider literally about a pun. And he's like, by the way, I'm not calling it this. And I'm like, you literally
It ruins the
voided
whole insider
the
if you don't.
entire insider.
Get with the program, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm doing an insider on like. I
I don't know why I'm supporting you. I haven't read it. He might be right.
It's on my display tray.
On
On
your
display tray I made for my Gator Army because I'm promoting Display It Painted.
You made a display tray for
I did, and
Man.
it definitely has.
I gotta come visit Dannyland. I'm too busy these days. I miss
Dannyland's
you.
sweet. Everyone should always visit Dannyland.
Dannyland is very sweet. Not gonna lie. He has his own mezzanine.
Dannyland's also warm.
I don't have a mezzanine.
It's the only warm place in the building.
think
Right now.
everyone in the
my
building
little
wants a
land is
mezzanine.
not warm at all. Not even a little. So I threw a muddy wash on these gloves now that I'm done with just a little bit of rucksack tan highlight. And I think I'm going to go ahead and take some Quicksilver, and I'm going to dry brush this over the boiler black.
Screwfizzle says Hamilton would end you.
Doug Hamilton?
He might end you.
Nah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Doug, but nah. See, he is, he's even bigger. He's got wider shoulders than I do. He's a big fella. But it's the knees, man. They just can't take it no more.
I don't know, but
Wow.
But he's got.
He's also looking for a chiropractor and stuff. Like, he's got a bad back.
He's got hockey calves, though. I think you have a
That's the
hard
thing.
time knocking him
Does.
over.
Have
He
you
is
seen
he
his
is
calves?
very stable.
He does. I'll give him credit. I think he'd put up a really, really solid one, but it's just the years, man. It's the years is everything.
That was a really kind way of calling him old.
He's, well, yeah, I mean, he's a great guy. He's not Randy Couture or anything, so. I love you, Doug, but stick to sculpting.
Oh my God.
I didn't know I'd get brought on to such a violent.
That might happen right now.
It's okay. He's my dad. I can say whatever I want.
Basically.
Screwfizzle says Hamilton has steady, Tanner has feigned death.
I have what?
Feigned
death.
We also got a comprehensive answer on the Eldritch from Jordan.
Finally.
So
like you're
Eldritch,
busy, Jordan.
Yeah. So Eldritch works really well for a highlight color or a mix for a base color. It's got a really unique color that is super versatile for many things. So it's a little bright for shading, but you can mix it in to bring some of the color out.
He just very politely directly defied you, Danny.
No. He said exactly what I was trying to say.
He said it's a little bright for shading.
You mix it into a color to bring the color out in your shade.
Yeah, so you have to mix it in with another color that's got the value you want. That means darkness.
Right.
Tanner.
So it's
darkness or
too
lightness.
light a color to use as a shade, but it really pulls a lot of beautiful color out when you mix it into something like Thornwood or whatever, you know.
Well, I prefer
Exile
to think
blue.
of it as him
Exile
defying you.
blue. That's a good one.
Exile
Coal
blues.
black.
Ooh,
And it
I
are
could
really
see
sweet
that.
together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
With
just did that on
Exile
the hair
blue
actually.
for sure. I'm starting to like the color of this too, so I might move on to my brass next.
Doug Hamilton writes, experience, winky face. I will see you in the morning, winky face.
Come say hi.
See, this is how it's going to go down. Is you're going to show up all ready to go for this match, and Doug, with his old man experience, is not going to show up and go get a coffee and a sandwich instead.
No, I'm legitimately
Got him.
I am legitimately having my own side conversation through Facebook right now with Doug about our plans for tomorrow. Like, I've known. I cannot read what he just sent me out loud. Thanks for that, Doug. Jeez. But we're like making plans because I've known Doug since I was 13 years old, and he's just like, these are my plans for tomorrow. I forget what I was gonna say now. Everything's gone.
Is he going to take me out to make up for all those years of Christmases that we never got together?
Oh my god. That probably
I'm wondering,
made him so uncomfortable.
What's he doing coming up here instead of going to LVO? That's where the party's at. We're just a bunch of working stiffs over here.
He hasn't been here in a hot minute. He hasn't seen the new building.
That's true.
Has he not been in the
He's
new
not
building?
been here
No,
yet?
this is his first time.
I don't know if that's true. I just agreed. I don't actually
pretty
think
sure.
that is true. I think he's been here once.
I don't believe you.
Screw Fizzle, you stop that. The artist formerly known as Screw Fizz.
Tanner, what are you washing your metals with right now?
I am not washing my metals at this exact second. Right now, I am applying blighted gold to some of these vented areas.
Just okay.
And then I'm
just
going to
at
finish that up with some brass balls. This silvery tone here that I did with the boiler black and the quicksilver is going to get an armor wash, though. Just not yet. Because I will probably also do an armor wash above this blighted gold and then move on to dry brushing some brass balls on top of that, so I can both darken this blighted gold and also get the black in the recesses in these little dots here where the vents are at.
Good work, Rabid Monkey. Good work.
Lauren, why don't you walk us through what you've been working on there?
Oh shoot,
Just
man,
getting
I'm
lost in
awful
the
with
moment.
that. I'm just getting lost. I'm like, yeah, painting.
Can
I love
you hold
painting.
the mini on camera,
Me?
Lauren? Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
hold it up and get a
Shoot.
do a little turnaround. Let's get a look at it. Yeah, hold your hand up behind it for a second. Let that autofocus. There we go.
Oh, the color just
Yep.
changed.
You gotta go back. There you go.
I keep adding Cardic flesh to the Idrian flesh. I've been bringing her flesh tone up a little bit, doing some highlights, realizing that whatever she has on her top is supposed to be metal, and I thought it was cloth. It's very hard to tell.
Well, the nice thing about paints is that as long as you're applying your layers thin enough, it's never too late to paint over it.
That's true.
Doug, if you haven't left yet, I would like to influence you to bring me some of that fancy barbecue sauce that you got at Warfare Weekend.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I want in.
I do love me some barbecue sauce, and he really talked it up. I witnessed somebody come and bring him like a gallon jug of this barbecue sauce
Nice.
that is from wherever his friend lives, I assume, and he was really, really talking it up. So
I haven't used my grill in a week, and it feels lonely. So
Have you ever
I need,
tried to
I need a
bring?
reason to use it again.
Have you ever tried to bring a liquid like barbecue sauce onto an airplane? They tend to frown on that.
That seems like Doug's problem.
Check
I'm not
that.
going on any
Check
place.
that bag.
Yep, check that bag.
Check that bag.
$50 to bring you some.
Well, maybe he's already checking a bag, Lauren. He'll figure it out. Doug's a smart guy. Sometimes.
It's that experience, right?
That experience. That's right.
You should just expense it.
Expense it.
It got really quiet suddenly.
Yeah, I
It
was
did.
checking out the chat there for a minute. He says that's very orange skin.
Ooh, me, you.
Well, mine's, I don't have any skin, so that really narrows it down.
I don't know. I haven't actually seen Stygius' model yet.
Let's put that up to a vote. Does Stygius have skin? Nobody knows what's under all of this.
Nobody knows.
I imagine it just like 6 little gremlins
In a trench
in
coat.
a trench coat. That would be a really funny Riot Quest model, by the way.
3 gobbers in a trench coat.
Yeah.
It could be gubbin, flubbin, and oh man, there was that time where we came up with like 18 different other ubbins.
Nubbin.
Like nubbin.
Nubbin has an amputee
and-
arm or something.
Yeah.
Dan PT arm.
Uncle Rubbin, yeah.
With
All
like
this.
with like a chainsaw attached to it or something.
That sounds awesome, but
I just came up
you
with it. You're
can't
welcome.
like that's the chainsaw. I feel like is Fiora's thing, the flame chainsaw.
And
You know what
a
I'm saying?
pneumatic hammer.
That sounds hot.
Sweet.
Striker is saying that if we get to 120 subs, he'll buy food for us.
He will.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Is he local
So,
or something?
Striker, here's what you
gonna,
need to do.
DoorDash
You need-
it from across the country.
You need to PayPal me the money now, and I will hold it in escrow.
You say escrow?
Jeez Louise. You need to stop talking to your financial
Tony's a real
advisor as
businessman
much,
here.
Tony.
Are you literally describing embezzlement on camera?
I didn't say that. I said escrow.
Escrow, yeah. It's
You
a
said
really
embezzlement.
safe way of doing
Nobody
what
said
he's trying to
embezzlement.
do.
You said that.
It was offered.
Also, it's not like he's embezzling company money. He's embezzling one of our
And who said
wonderful
that?
viewers.
Striker said that. Striker
Yeah.
said he'll buy us. Ooh.
Striker said he was going to buy us food.
What sounds good, guys? I'm thinking like barbecue, catered, might be good. Steaks, ribs, that kind of thing.
Oh, Doug, also, speaking of things you can bring us, Tony really likes Malort.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We never
and
got
that's a
to-
Chicago thing.
What's a what?
Malort.
What's
A two-fisted liquor.
We
is
were
the
gonna
description you get
do a
online.
little trade-off,
It's like
and we never got to.
a root alcohol that is meant to taste terrible.
I know this is just a matter of syntax, Danny, but I don't really like Malort.
You
But
like the idea
I
of
enjoy
the
drinking
experience.
it.
Yes,
I enjoy
exactly.
drinking it.
And just to be clear, he doesn't enjoy the taste of drinking it. He appreciates the act of drinking it.
Tony bought us all a round of it at Gen Con.
You're welcome.
What was it? Rule number 3 or whatever. It's like, you have to try this, and it was the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my life. But also, I was happy about it at the same time.
That's just him looking out for you.
It's also not better the more you have of it. So
I think
It
this
does
actually
not
gets
improve.
worse.
Tony, you're getting really good at the aggressive hand motion to wave me off of topics. Well done.
Nothing but honesty out of this.
I'm going to get talked to later.
What else is new?
and someone's gonna write a letter and
And then we're gonna have to do something with clockatrices.
center up, both of you. Both of you.
what? Oh, like I'm on the target lock. What's? Oh no, you're right. I'm way off target lock.
All right, guys. What random color do you think that Lauren should start applying to her model right now? First color in Chaz, what she has to use.
Piggy purple ink. Piggy purple ink.
Are you? Is
It's a lightning round.
black
We're
hair your
taking
final
requests.
destination, Lauren?
Yeah.
If you're lucky, we'll see what happens. Give the fans what the fans want. Hot pink. All right. Where are you going to put hot pink on that model, Lauren? Are you going to use the highlighter feathers?
Do we have a
We have
good
a
pink?
hot pink.
We have carnal pink. Is that what it is?
Actually, if you take amethyst,
Amethyst
rose,
rose and mix it with carnal,
mix
right?
it, yeah,
Yeah.
mix it with carnal or mix it with
There's a carnal pink.
Menoth
I
white
got it.
base or Menoth white highlight rather.
I have all the colors in my bag of wonders.
Oh, man. 2 people in a row said hot pink. So that's definitely.
This says
the
Hoy
Spanish.
pink.
Yeah, one
Hoy
person definitely
pink.
said Hoy pink, which I also like.
Good
And
old Hoy
I'm now
pink.
imagining what that color is. Hoy pink.
Fiesta pink.
No, see, I'm thinking more of like a woo Hoy. Like it's some kind of terrible.
What?
That's fine. No one has to understand me.
Where are you gonna put that pink, Lauren?
I don't know. I'm mixing it up first.
I feel like you could edge out those purple feathers with it. A little edge highlight.
That's not a bad idea. See, that's not hot enough. I need a hotter.
It's gonna be the hottest pink in the Iron Kingdoms.
Danny's sleepy.
So there's one thing that we can do now. Oh, there it is. Stryker just said it. Yes, I was
It
just
is.
about to do P3 painters for today.
Yup. Let's take a look.
So
This is gonna be a surprise for me. Tony didn't even go over them with me.
I did. I absolutely did.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
I clicked through them. You'll
I
you'll
was-
remember as soon as you see them.
Oh, that's right. I'm lying. I'm sorry, Tony. I totally remember now.
All right.
I just wanted to blame you.
And Tanner, for everybody who doesn't know, tell them what P3 painters is.
So P3 Painters is when you guys go on Instagram and you tag your painted models with hashtag P3 Painters, then we are going to take a look at them. And every Wednesday we do a little segment, or every Thursday on Get Your Paint On, we do a little segment called P3 Painters, where we go and pick some of our favorites to show off, give both the painters a little bit of publicity, and just show cool, different, good representations and different paint schemes of our models.
Yeah,
So
everybody's always doing such cool painted models. We just like showing them off a little bit.
let's
There's
go
also
take a look at,
hashtag P3 Kit Bashers. P3 Kit Bashers.
And what is
You just
P3?
couldn't wait till tomorrow, huh, Danny?
No, because I want some cool stuff to show tomorrow.
So what is P3 kit bashers, Dan?
If you've done some sweet conversions or some sweet, sweet terrain, or you got any of that good, and you want us to show it on stream, hashtag P3 Kit Bashers, and we shall find it and we shall show it if
you-
it is awesome.
If you make something cool, P3 Kid Bashers. If you paint something cool, P3 Painters. And if you do both, then do both.
Yeah, you can always just spam both hashtags and we'll see it.
One way or the other.
right.
All right, here we
Correct
go.
your press life hacks.
Whoa!
Whoa! There's nothing there.
Yeah, I know. It's because I left it blank. Here we go. And the first one is
It's a howler.
this howler.
That looks like a Travis
This
howler
is
to
a
me.
Travis howler.
Nice job,
Absolutely.
Travis.
This is awesome.
I
These,
really like what you've done with the white, light gray colors.
I mean, these sculpts are super cool.
Yeah, the howler leader is super rad. I like how he's got the one hook arm. Are there any more?
I got a little mouse lock up here, so let me catch
Oh,
up.
geez.
So let's talk about this model some more. I think I'm going to click through once it comes back. I'm going to click through all of these images that Travis had, and I think these are little custom bases that he
So
made too.
I'm curious if he did the red first and then painted the gray while avoiding it, or if he painted it as white/gray and then did like a glaze for the red.
That's a good question. I
don't know
don't
if he's
actually
watching
know.
or not
I'm trying to
right
look
now,
in
but
here.
maybe
It
we'll
looks.
get an answer.
My best guess is it looks like it was painted in after the fact. But yeah, these are cool. These guys all look nice, all racked up together, and there it
Ooh,
is
I
compared
like
to
that
the
blue.
to the heavy. But also, I'd like it. I like this little hit on his because his howlers are mostly that like white gray with the red accents, but hit the fists, and it also looks like a little bit in the jaw.
Oh, like you put kind of a
He's
skin
got a
color
little
there.
bit of
Yeah.
blue there, so that's really cool. It's
You
just
know-
kind of adding that little subtle accent that matches the rest of the army, apparently.
And one thing that I'll say about Travis has got his page that he paints posts his paint jobs on, and I've only been here a year, and I've only known him and been seeing his paint jobs for a little less than that time. He is getting pretty good rapidly. He's been putting together a lot of really good paint jobs lately. So good job, Travis.
And Travis is a very prolific painter, like just churning out minis. He's got an extremely large
dedicated.
collection of stuff. Right on, Travis. Thank you.
Nice job, buddy.
Thanks, Travis.
What else we got?
We got our next one from
Long
Davian
chunks.
Groovy.
Nice.
Lost his hat in the wind.
That's unfortunate. I do love that hat.
But this looks good. This one stuck out, and it's kind of a little bit what we were talking about with your Dr. Stygius. He starts off with the kind of that green skin, but then highlights up, but it gets more yellow too.
Then that's what I really like is on the back end of his jaw there, a little webbing between his I guess, lips or jaws, where it kind of goes to an orange. I just think there's a lot of really realistic color going on here, and the green blending is just fantastic.
Snow Tiefling called me out. He says that's the board game models. Like I think he might be right. The board game version of Long Chops.
Oh, really?
From
Does he not have
Widower's
his
Wood.
hat?
I think he may not have a hat.
We
Wow.
specifically, and this was long before I got here, but I know for a fact that they specifically made his hat a different bit so that people could put it on other models for fun. So we did that for you guys. Make sure you're putting Long Chops hats on everything.
I challenge you now. Buy hats, put them on models, send them to P3, hashtag P3 Painters or hashtag
We were at the
P3
Lock
Kit
and Load
Bashers.
pre-show this last year at Bellevue Mox, and we saw a guy playing a Minions army, and he had a Dracodile that he had sculpted on a sleeveless vest and a big old hat. So he's like a Crocodile Dundee Dracodile, and it was fabulous.
Dude, no.
Crikey.
I was gonna make a unit of Croaks with all the hats for my Gator army.
Nice.
And it was gonna be called the Crocodile Dundees. Actually, Crocodile Dandies, because they live by Mount Kilimanjaro on my display tray.
Knock it off.
Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, I'll show you. Come up
Can
to
you tell us-
Dannyland and I'll show you Mount Kilimanjaro.
I feel like
Dannyland.
it has your face in it somewhere.
It does. It does.
Of
Literally
course
has
it
a
does.
literally has a life cast of my face in the mountain.
Thank you, Davy and Groovy, for this awesome Long Chops. And then our last one for today. I thought this one was particularly cool. It really stuck out to
Yes.
me.
That's
This-
so nice.
The thing I really, really love about this
Ooh.
one is kind of the dichotomy of it. So the top of it is pretty simple, kind of like I'm doing here with the like the steel color and a bronze brass type color. And then down on the bottom where he's color blended the blue, the black, the purple, and then I'm interested if the white stars came from just a spritz of a spray can or a spritz of an airbrush, or if they were hand dotted.
You can actually do that by getting your brush wet with white and just tapping it against your
I
finger.
do that with blood all the time.
an old toothbrush works too.
Not real blood, like painted blood. A toothbrush, you said?
Yeah, so if you take an old toothbrush, you dip it in the paint, and then just run your thumbs along the edge so that you're flicking
flick
the
it.
yeah, it'll
Take
give you a
notes,
nice
everybody.
pattern.
This is
But the
good
thing,
tips.
I mean,
So I paint
this-
rocks a lot with a toothbrush like that.
Like if there's white speckles on them?
Sorry, no,
Interesting.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, this one really stuck out. This is a Paint Me Mini. But yeah, it was just a really cool concept. And the other thing that I like about this is a very simple approach, which is not to say that it isn't very cool and very effective. It's just that painters of all skill levels can approach this just by adding those mixed colors and then adding a little spritz with those stars. It's just very well done.
It's
very
accessible.
very simple technique, very accessible technique. Yeah.
While remaining very good looking. So great job.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you all for posting pictures. Keep them coming. We love seeing them and we love showing them off for you.
Have you guys seen? I don't know where I saw it. I saw a Void Archon where someone actually painted like vines and flowers, like it was.
Void Archon?
Yeah,
Not a Primal Archon? Vines and flowers?
yeah, like it was some kind of Chinese painting hand artwork.
Oh, like they painted it onto
Was that an insider? Did someone?
the wisp that he floats
Jordan
on?
Iwasa has an army that's themed kind of like that, I believe.
It was a Scorn. It was for a Scorn
it was
army.
for a
Okay,
Scorn
yeah,
army,
yeah.
So it took me about
He
a
just did an insider like
1,000
2 days
years
ago.
to paint this blighted gold on here now, and now, whoops. I'm going to go hit all my metallics with an armor wash.
Armor wash.
Here with the violence again.
Lauren,
Hitting things.
push up into the frame a little.
Oh,
Always hitting
gosh.
things, right? All right, and this should be pretty easy. It'll be fairly liberal here. Ooh, not that liberal. Good Lord. Spread that around, and I'm going over my blighted gold and my two-tone silver. Got a nice ratty brush, just letting this get everywhere. And as always with shading, you don't really want to let this stuff pool.
Nomadic Chris is asking, what is an armor wash?
Armor wash is a product that we make that is a black shade. So
It's actually got some
a
metallic in it,
shade
too.
is, oh, does it?
Yeah.
A shade is thinner than a paint. It's meant to naturally, if you don't already know this, is meant to naturally fall into the recesses due to its wetness, its lower viscosity, and creates shadows on its own.
It's a great technique for taking over base coats and just having it add a little contrast. Nice and fast, very simple, and looks great.
Especially to a newer painter, if you've only ever just applied regular paint to a miniature, when you put washes on there for your very first time,
like
I know
magic.
I, as a kid, was absolutely blown away. The number one that I thought was crazy was like an off-red flesh tone. When you put that over a skin color, just exactly what it does. And we talked about this a little earlier with brown washes, how those can work over dang near anything.
Dude, I mix a bunch of our black washes together because we've got Cossite Flesh Wash and Caspian Flesh Wash, which are awesome in their own right. And now we've got Muddy Wash, and you can basically, I'll like mix and wet blend them all over everything together at the same time. What is with my brain today?
You need some coffee.
I do, except for I finished this Red
Tanner,
Bull
come on.
already.
Move it into
But yeah,
camera.
no, like if you, one of them's a little bit more green, so I'll push that into like the greenish flesh of like a gator, you know, and then move it towards his like leather, which might have more muddy wash, and it's so good.
Yeah.
So
and no matter, Chris, it sounds like, yeah, if you haven't used washes before, so Armor Wash is, as Tanner said, something that we have pre-made in a bottle, but washes as a technique are something you can do yourself with any color. So just take any paint mix that you want, add a little bit of water to it, adding some mixing medium will kind of help keep it transparent, keep some of the body in it if that's what you want. But yeah,
Windex,
you're not limited to just pre-packaged bottles of wash. You can just get all sorts of colors and make it yourself. It just opens up a lot of things you can do.
That being said, pre-mixed washes are super convenient.
They are very
and
convenient.
ours are very
That
nice.
that is why they exist, is because they're commonly used in these colors.
All right, I'm pretty happy with that. The other thing to consider when you're doing washing, especially when you're kind of slapping it on with a ratty brush like I was just doing, is you don't want to let the tips of your bristles on your brush really flick around and get on top of parts that you've already finished painting. So like I had a couple little black dots on my green that I needed to wet down and rub off because I was being a little too careless. That's actually what I'm doing right now, cleaning that out with the brush.
Do you have one of those? Do you ever make that? I have a custom eraser brush.
An eraser brush?
Yeah, you just like clip most of the bristles off of the tip of a brush, so it's like
Nice and
small
scrubby?
Scrubby. Yeah, and you just get it wet, and then or you just get a wet brush, kind of smear the paint around, get it wet, and then you can scrub it off with that little brush.
Interesting.
Scrubby.
That would be good to just keep an eraser brush around. That's something that I might have to add to my repertoire.
Let me
Thanks,
just
Danny.
take one of your brushes that isn't really good anymore and just cut it. That's all we do.
That's a good tip. I like that. So I'm touching up that green a little bit.
Yeah,
I
no
got
matter,
that
Chris,
black wash down.
washing the entirety of metals is very, very, very useful, especially on terrain, right? Like, just push a wash on there, it'll accentuate all your details, and then all you have to do is go in and pop some highlights, do a little weathering, call it a day.
And if you're an airbrush user, washing through the airbrush is super speedy, super easy, and yields great results.
Can confirm.
You wash through the airbrush?
Absolutely.
I haven't
Heck
done
yeah.
that much, actually. Weirdly.
Oh, heck yeah.
Huh. Strange.
So what I try to do when I'm airbrushing miniatures is I'll pick whatever the majority of that model's going to be most of the time, color-wise, or whatever needs to get done first before I can paint other parts of it. And I'll do my base coat, layer, work the color up to what I want it to, and hit it with a wash so that that entire color is 100% done, and I can move on to something else. Unless I want to like do a little line highlighting or brush highlighting somewhere. But usually you can get it to a comfortable point just with the airbrush in my experience.
I hate airbrushing.
Really? I love
really
it.
do.
I
I
love
think
it.
it's super useful, and I've had to do so much of it for previous jobs that part of me is just like, it's so much setup for what it is, and our models are so small that I'm kind of like, I'm kind of over it. It's really a lot of setup just to get something that, I mean, I could do just as smooth of a transition if I'm good at two-brush blending or use like pastel dust or something. Like, and there are so many cans of spray paint that are matte now, like all the camo colors that you can find at like any auto store. Like I'll just prime a model, hit it with like the camo color, you know, of tan or whatever I need, and then just like start painting. It's just so much maintenance.
I think that the primary thing that I use it for is to save time. Would be the primary reason, because like I don't really find that there's a lot of setup involved when mine is just out ready to be used in the garage all the time. It's really just a little bit of cleanup, but I definitely understand where you're coming from. The fact that the reality is that anything you can do with the airbrush for the most part you could also do with a regular brush, unless you're really advanced in getting into things like altering your cone sizes to do very exact work. And on that, you're probably going to be doing stuff like that on bigger models than this anyways, like you were saying, Danny.
Center up, Laura.
Right. Disney was all airbrush stuff, and it got so old to me. I'm really happy to just take a giant brush and, like, if I'm washing a large surface, I literally take a spritz bottle of water and wet the whole surface with water, and then just like pour wash onto it and call it a day. Like.
All right, guys. Well, we're getting a little carried away on time here. Lauren and I have both made some pretty good progress. Lauren, if you want to hold yours up and show them, I'm very happy with the way this green and these two metals came out. Hopefully we were able to teach you a thing or two in the time that we had together. I hope you guys had fun. You can join Danny and I tomorrow for Hobby Hangout. And otherwise, we will see you all next time.
Bye.
See you later.